Austin, Texas, the live music capital of the world, home of the University of Texas, a high-tech center, a unique place where culture, history, and technology come together. This capital of the Lone Star State is also unique in its rich natural beauty. Located along the edge of the Texas Hill Country, Austin is surrounded by lakes and wooded hillsides. The Balcones Fault separates the Edwards Plateau to the west from the Blackland Prairies and Post Oak Savannas to the east. The area's unique geography has yielded an unusually rich range of vegetation and wildlife. In fact, more species of birds are found in Texas than in all of Europe, and the Edwards Plateau is recognized as having among the highest density of unique species in the entire state. The features that were so attractive to the earliest of Central Texas settlers are the same that draw folks to Austin even today. Open space, clean air, plentiful water, and abundant wildlife. Factors that today attract visitors, new residents, and businesses to share Austin's quality of life. Part of that quality of life stems from the Balcones Canyonlands Preserve. In the 1980s, community leaders, elected officials, and scientists came together to determine how to protect the natural environment of Austin and Travis County while maintaining its economic development and growth.
I remember on a sunny spring day driving into town with the top open on my car and thinking it really is about quality of life.
Businesses can go anywhere they want to go and realize the same kinds of success. So where are they going to go? They're going to go where they can offer their people the quality of life.
To meet the diverse needs of a growing community while also protecting the area's unique wildlife, the Balcones Canyonlands Conservation Plan was created.
Austin's unique certainly in the Texas region because it really tries to bring nature into the city. Austin has really put at its heart both Barton Springs, Town Lake Trail, and other things that said we're going to reach and try to join humans to the rest of nature. And the Balcones Canyonlands project is really an extension of that, trying to find a way that we can have both nature and humans coexisting in one spot.
The BCCP encompasses political, legal, and economic as well as ecological considerations and serves to protect the ecology of the Texas Hill Country while maintaining the long-term economic viability of the entire region. For centuries, the Texas Hill Country supported a thriving community of wildlife, including species such as the golden-cheeked warbler and the black-capped vireo. Over time, changing patterns of land use fragmented natural habitats and populations of these species declined. The Balcones Canyonlands Preserve was established to set aside and manage habitat and protect populations of 8 endangered species, as well as 27 other plants and animals that are at risk. The preserve is managed for the benefit of all the native wildlife of the area and is among the nation's largest urban preserve systems. The geology of the Texas Hill Country is unique. On the surface, like canyons, ridges, and plateaus. Below the surface are interconnected systems of caves that create the aquifers that provide drinking water for millions of Central Texas residents.
The term karst is a European term, and it describes a type of land topography or a landscape of the surface of the land. And that land is described by having sinkholes and caves and fractures in the rock that allow the water that reaches those areas to swiftly go underground.
The erosion of these features over millions of years created an environment for unique wildlife found nowhere else on Earth. 6 endangered cave-dwelling species are protected by the plan. The golden-cheeked warbler nests nowhere else in the world except in the oak juniper woodlands of central Texas. This migratory songbird builds nests with bark strips from mature juniper, which it binds with spider webs that it collects in its beak.
Ash juniper has always been a dominant plant species in the canyons in and around Austin. And as one of the dominant species, it evolved with species like the golden-cheeked warbler that need it for nesting material. It's an important part of the system, and it's been native to Austin for millennia.
These colorful native Texans spend their winters in Central America and are found near Austin from early March through July and August. Loss of habitat is the main threat to the survival of this songbird. The black-capped vireo is also a migratory songbird that builds its nest in very specialized habitat, just a few feet off the ground. This bird once nested throughout central Texas and as far as Oklahoma and central Kansas. Today, central Texas provides the only habitat for the last remaining populations.
Those ranges have been reduced significantly. The habitat's been lost through land use practices.
The major factors endangering the black-capped vireo are habitat loss, habitat fragmentation, brown-headed cowbird parasitism.
Brown-headed cowbirds are a threat to both of our listed species. The cowbirds adapted that strategy of laying their eggs in other species' nests. Their eggs are larger, develop faster, and so the brown-headed cowbird usually emerges before the parental species would come out.
You have to manage that land in keeping with how it was historically managed. That may mean in some cases prescribe fire to simulate historic wildfires. In other cases, it's controlling deer populations that because of urbanization have spiraled out of control. It takes a lot to keep these species around, but it's a critical part of our natural heritage.
The BCP partners also cooperate with other state and local conservation organizations, such as the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department and the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center, to protect rare plants such as the bracted twistflower. The remaining populations of this rare hill country native are threatened by habitat loss and by populations of white-tailed deer.
There are 2 plant species that are actually afforded protection under the BCP. That's Canyon mock orange and Texibama croton. Canyon mock orange is a beautiful shrub that's native to the hill country region, but it's having trouble reproducing. This is probably most likely a result of both deer predation, as deer populations have really increased, urbanization on the hills and cliffs that were once the Canyon mock orange's home, and also problems with germination of the seed set. Texibama croton is a unique plant that's here in the area because it's unique in the sense that it is a disjunct population and that its nearest relative lives in Alabama. And we're still just beginning to understand both these species, trying to figure out why they're less common than they are and how to go about saving them.
The Endangered Species Act was passed into law by the U.S. Congress in 1973 to prevent the further loss of plants and animals that make up a vital part of our nation's rich natural heritage. The BCCP provides landowners with a streamlined process to comply with the law while also allowing economic growth and development to continue. Travis County administers a public participation program that works with landowners to mitigate loss of these species and their habitat due to the effects of residential and commercial development.
One of the values that I've seen to the BCP program, and one that I think has made a difference for landowners, is that it offers them an alternative to going through the lengthy, sometimes difficult, and goodness gracious knows, sometimes painful process to be able to do certain things with their land.
The City of Austin administers a similar program that allows for construction of public schools, roadways, utilities, and other capital improvement projects throughout the county.
ultimately the base fundamental of the BCCP program is to allow us as a region to continue to thrive economically, to continue to plan public projects, but also to continue to thrive with environmental protection, outdoor recreation, open space, cleaner air and water. It's a very important, mutually beneficial program.
The plan's balance of economic as well as habitat benefits has garnered the support of landowners, developers, and the local business community, as well as local, state, and federal agencies.
At this point, the business and real estate community really sees it as an asset, as adding value, as something that is going to be a legacy into the future.
The unique partnership approach to maintaining a healthy environment and a healthy economy forged a new model of cooperative conservation for communities throughout the country. In addition to Travis County and the City of Austin, a number of other Central Texas partners are involved in the BCCP. Private landowners, the Lower Colorado River Authority, the Travis Audubon Society, and the Nature Conservancy of Texas. Each partner manages habitat land for one or more of the endangered species covered by the plan. This cooperative venture merges the individual strengths and varied viewpoints to achieve the common goals of habitat protection and continued economic growth.
It really is a great example of pulling all of, in a lot of instances, a lot of diverse interests together to create something that, after all is said and done, everybody will be proud to have in this particular area.
The BCCP Coordinating Committee is the governing body that directs implementation of the plan and is composed of one representative from the Austin City Council, one member from Travis County Commissioners Court, and a representative of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. 2 advisory groups support the BCCP Coordinating Committee by providing review and oversight of the plan's implementation and by providing a forum for public input. The Citizens Advisory Committee is comprised of 11 members of the local community representing diverse interests, including the business community, landowners, conservation organizations, and representatives from the City of Austin's boards and commissions. The Scientific Advisory Committee is comprised of 5 members considered experts associated with endangered species research and habitat management.
The Scientific Advisory Committee is to give the best science to the plan and to help advise the policymakers and the people who need to implement the plan and give them the best, most up-to-date, scientifically accurate information that we can to manage the species for the benefit of the whole plan in the Austin area.
The Citizen Advisory Committee provides the Balcones Canyonlands Coordinating Committee with citizen views on all aspects of the plan and its management. Some issues like public education, land acquisition, public finance, outreach are all included in what the CAC provides information on to the Coordinating Committee.
It isn't possible to protect the environment and exclude people. Changes in native vegetation and wildlife resulting from human use of the land progressed from the time of the first settlers and continue today. Access to the Balcones Canyonlands Preserve, therefore, is carefully considered for each parcel. The delicate nature of some habitats currently necessitate limited access within the preserve. Travis County Preserve sites with recreational access include Hamilton Pool Preserve and Wild Basin. Both of these sites offer year-round opportunities to explore the wildlife of the Balcones Canyonlands. With prior arrangement, other preserve areas are available for educational tours.
We do also make arrangements to take guided tours into these areas when requests are made. We'll take small groups of people in to allow them to observe the black-cap burials in the habitat areas we're creating or manipulating at present.
We have karst preserves in Austin and many, many public areas where caves can be seen and can be viewed relatively up close.
Other areas of the preserve approved for recreational use include the City of Austin's Barton Creek Greenbelt and Emmelong, Mount Bonnell, and Commons Ford parks. The legacy of land stewardship that traditionally protected the natural heritage of the Texas Hill Country is disappearing as family-owned farms and ranches are sold and fragmented. Native wildlife is facing increasing habitat loss and isolation. In a state in which 97% of all lands are held by private landowners, community-based approaches and landowner cooperation are critical to protect wildlife and habitat. Only by protecting remaining blocks of habitat can wildlife populations be assured continued survival. Protecting wildlife requires good science, sound management, and community support. Where ranches and farms once dominated the Texas landscape and agriculture ruled our economy, Texas has become a primarily urban state. Texas is now the second most populated state in the nation, with more metropolitan areas than any other. Over 10 million new residents moved to the Lone Star State in the last decade, and approximately 50% of all Texans now live in one of just 6 urban counties. Our economy is no longer defined by agriculture, but consists of a thriving high-tech, medical, academic, and ever-diversifying business community. Austin has historically doubled in population every 20 years since it was founded in 1839. Some projections indicate that the Austin metropolitan area may be larger than San Antonio in the next 35 years.
Well, I think that the remarkable thing that I've seen as far as changes in the city of Austin has been not only its growth, but also the attractiveness of Austin in attracting people to come here wanting to live. And the Balcones Canyonlands Preserve plays a big part of that.
As the Austin area continues to grow, the open space, clean air, plentiful water, and abundant wildlife benefits being secured today as part of the Balcones Canyonlands Preserve will only increase in value. The BCCP was among the first regional multi-species habitat conservation plans ever issued by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and now serves as a model for communities across the country.
Any outsider coming and looking at Texas or Austin as a place that they might want to live, see very quickly a demonstrable example of that commitment to balance.
The Balcones Canyonlands Conservation Plan strikes a balance between the needs of a vibrant and growing community and the need to protect the area's unique native wildlife.
It's not just about keeping Austin weird, it's about keeping Austin natural.
The long-term benefits are going to be incalculable.
Bottom line, it is a quality of life issue, and it's something that we can all be proud of.
In the 8 short years since the plan was implemented, the Balcones Canyonlands partners have already protected over 90% of their goal of over 30,000 acres of wildlife habitat in the hill country just west of Austin.